Morning, Rupert.
Good morning, David.
Well, you were saved, Rupert.
I know. I was building it up, and then sanity was restored.
Yeah, well, indeed. Where are you today?
I'm at Excel because I've been at the London International Horse Show all week.
Ooh.
So when it's the final day today, it's been great fun, great equestrian entertainment, and lots of people coming every day to enjoy some great sport, full stop.
Now, that's interesting because I understand also you were on Wednesday night at the British Equestrian Media Lifetime, or you gave an award, didn't you? Tell us more about that.
Well, I had the privilege of giving an award to Princess Anne for her. I am chairman of the British Equestrian Media Association, and we decided, voted basically to see if we could give Princess Anne a Lifetime Achievement Award, and she graciously accepted. And I had the privilege of presenting it to her at the end of the performance on Wednesday night, where she was attending the show because she is patron of the Riding for the Disabled, and they're the charity for the show. So she was there to meet that, and also to meet some of our Olympic riders who've done so well in Paris. And so she was there at the show, and so it was an opportunity for us to present the award in front of a sellout crowd and appreciate the work she's done for the sport, because not only was she a brilliant rider in her own right, she's a former European champion, she's a former BBC Sports Personality of the Year, she competed in the 76 Olympics, but she's also been a very strong advocate for the sport, working as president of the FEI, and also she's worked very closely with the Olympic Association as well, sort of promoting equestrian sport. So it's something that, from a equestrian point of view, is thoroughly deserved, because she's been a true champion of all things equestrian.
I think we've got a picture, actually, of you presenting that award. Just in terms of that, I mean, I think I've met her. I'm sure I met her many years ago. What's she like? I mean, would she be quite humbled by that?
She was. There's no two ways about it. Look, she's normally used to giving out prizes. Indeed, just before I had the opportunity to present that award, she'd given out a trophy to the winner of the Puissance competition. She'd given out another trophy to somebody else, and so the tables were turned on her. But you don't just turn up with a glass and do it. You have to sort this out before.
Yes.
But so she wasn't surprised by me. I wasn't doorstepping her.
Well, I have to say, Rupert, you look very much the part there. Congratulations on doing that as well. Look, we've got to go to a break, but after the break, I'm just really keen to look at some of the Christmas cards the royal family have sent out, what that says. I mean, we always kind of read into things and what the cards say about the families. Also, I think it's fair to say they've had one heck of a year, and we'll talk more about that. So Rupert will be rejoining me after this break. In the middle of talking to Rupert Bell, and now I can do it because we have the technology. It's time for Rupert's Royal Roundup.
Rupert's Royal Roundup.
Couldn't resist, Rupert.
Well, never mind. Spirit of goodwill and all that.
Well, quite. Now, should we look at the Christmas cards? I mean, I don't know where you want to start here, but I mean, it's been a heck of a year for the royal family, one way or another, hasn't it? And I suppose the Christmas cards kind of tie into that.
Yeah, they do. And if you think this time last year, the royal family were heading off to their Christmas break at Sandringham and in Norfolk, and all seemed serene. And of course, we saw the royal family out and about on Christmas Day. But then a couple of weeks later, it all unraveled with the news that both the King and indeed the Princess of Wales had gone into hospital, and actually, obviously, subsequently discovered that both had cancer and are still undergoing various forms of treatment as a result. So certainly, this 12 months has been a very different one from what they probably envisaged was going to happen at the start of the Christmas break. So when we look at the various Christmas cards, and certainly the Prince of Wales's Christmas card, you see it as a family gathering. From the pictures from their summer holiday in Norfolk, we obviously had seen a video of their time in the summer holidays, and this is a picture from that showing a sort of a happy family in many ways.
Do you know that is just such a lovely photograph, actually, of all of them?
Yes, and I think it's important. You know, they know that And that's what the Prince of Wales has been trying to do, make sure that he's there for his family and why he hasn't been out and about. But as you put it into context with regard to him, he's obviously got his father battling cancer, and indeed his wife. And obviously in his case, you know, should the worst happen, he then becomes king and his life changes, you know, to on a sixpence. So it's been a complicated year for him to negotiate away. But what I think they've always tried to maintain, that their immediate family, i.e. their 3 children, come first. And the Princess of Wales has, you know, we know how committed she is outside in her role for the early years and helping children in those early years, but actually in terms of being there for her children and helping them understand what their mother's going through has been a very much part of what she's been doing this year.
Let's move on to the King and Queen, because as you mentioned, the King being treated for cancer, he's still very upbeat. I mean, he's a man who likes to work. I think their card also is quite symbolic.
Well, yes. I mean, in terms of what they, you know, showing a united front in terms, and how much he does depend on the Queen. Now, she, after that state visit when they went to Australia and Samoa, she too has had her own health problems when she, a serious chest infection that prevented her from carrying out her full set of duties. But she's been having to manage his time throughout the year, and they are very much a united front. And I think that's the important thing. She knows that she has to try and, in a sense, control his enthusiasm to be out and about and actually manage his recovery. And she has played an important part. But she's also made sure that she can try and get out as much as possible to be seen and helping get the royal family, the public face of the royal family out there, because they know it's so important that they are seen to engage with the British public and wherever they can.
Shall we talk about Harry and Meghan and their card?
If you insist.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, obviously we see the picture of them as a family with both the Duke and Duchess of Sussex greeting their children as they run towards them, a sort of happy family moment. But there's also, you have to say, excuse me, trying to create and show what good they're doing, the sort of art aspect. And it's, you know, they're saying, well, look at us, we are out there. But I think, you know, you talk about the royal family in this country having a difficult year. They have had, I think, an equally as difficult year, as they have failed, really, I think, at times to negotiate their way through and move on from all the spare, the documentaries. Because this time last year we had the book coming out. You know, I think it's been a learning curve for them, and I'm not sure they've done a brilliant job. And that polo documentary, and obviously I've been talking about a horse event, and I tell you what, the horsey world, and particularly the polo world I've been speaking to say it was not good. They did not enjoy watching it, and people who are in the sport, so in this country, think it was not good, and it hasn't been well received. We've obviously seen them now trying to work on different paths, you know, more individual rather than both being at events together. So I think they have got to really regroup and wonder, where are they going to be in 12 months' time, and how is their life going to unfold from what they want to do. But I would suggest they haven't had a great year on a commercial front. It's not been particularly successful.
Can we just look back at that card, actually? Because the other thing, and maybe this is me, but it's from Archwell Productions, Archwell Foundation. You're right. To me, it's kind of like, it's trying too hard, this. Also, I can't help notice it doesn't say Happy Christmas. It says Happy Holiday Season.
Yeah, and I don't know what the Duke of Sussex is. Happy Holidays. It's a very American thing to do. So you would suggest it was Meghan who had the call on that. It almost looks like a business card.
Yes, it does.
You know, with the fact that they're showing this is what we're about. Now, yes, you have to do the family element, but why couldn't they just put out one with the family, just like anybody else, rather than, you know, the King hasn't put a picture of him being in Australia and everything else. Instead, they're just almost like trying to show, look at us, we're still relevant. It's trying too hard, in my eyes, as to what this card says. Sometimes you just have to, as they say, there's the great mnemonic, hiss. keep it simple, stupid, and it goes a long way. And just overcomplicating it just adds to the sort of trying too hard element of where they are in and perceived now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's trying too hard there. Also, so just looking forward, of course, Christmas is a time of celebration of family. We look forward to the new year, new beginnings and so on. I still think the King's speech is an important part of Christmas. Do you have any sense of what the King will say? I'm assuming he'll draw on the fact that he's been very unwell and he will be talking about the sanctity of life and I suppose new beginnings.
I think what he will say is the support of loved ones around him. We're sort of getting a sense also from what the Princess of Wales has been saying. Remember, her carol concert will be shown on Christmas Eve, I believe, and in the evening on ITV. She'll be talking about the importance of support from families and people around you and sharing love and empathy. And I think the King will be looking to do something similar because, you know, it's been a pretty difficult year. Forget the royal family. There's been a lot of dissension around the place, and he will be trying to say, look, let's just show a bit of love and care. And in many ways, that will be not only, you know, caring at home, but obviously on a wider scale. So, you know, this message isn't just for people in this country. It's part of the Commonwealth. It will be a message to all and sundry. So it will be interesting how he reflects on what for him will be not only battling cancer, but for him, he'll be deeply frustrated that he hasn't been able to do what he wants because of his condition.
And then finally, I think we need to talk about Prince Andrew, don't we, of course, because his Christmas plans have rather changed.
Yes, and by his own undoing, once again, his choice of friends has put him into a right hotspot. You know, and he should be thinking, and obviously this relationship with this alleged Chinese spy has really put his Christmas plans well and truly on the back burner, because the royal family didn't need him walking to church on Christmas Day because he'd be the story. And that's not what the royal family want. They know that he is creating some difficulties for them. There's a lot of eye rolling within palace corridors about his way he goes about his business at times. And obviously links with China, they're in the news at the moment for obvious reasons. And his close relationship with these people and setting up, and by all accounts, he set up a bank in China as well, bank account in China as well. So, you know, it's all a little bit unsavory. But unfortunately, throughout his life, his choice of friends has caused him problems, and it's yet another one. And how he goes forward, it's going to require maybe some eating of some humble pie, but it's not something that he does naturally.
Can I just ask, though, who's advising him?
He tends to advise himself. That was the problem. He thought it was a good idea to do the Emily Maitlis interview with other people, you know. So, unfortunately, the two people who caused the problems for the royal family, that's Prince Harry and Prince Andrew, don't tend to be one. They seem to be convinced at times by their rightness and their course of action. And sometimes you actually have to be able to read the room. And Prince Andrew's ability to do that is definitely in question.
Yeah, as they got called yesterday in the paper, or at least the palace referred to the two of them as the Dukes of Hazzard. And I think that's pretty apt, don't you?
I think that's as good a description as possible, because they are basically a permanent problem for the royal family when they've got other things to worry about. They want to move forward, and their lack of those two being around has obviously exposed, you know, the problems within the royal family in the sense that they're short on numbers. But we do know, and obviously we talked about Princess Anne, she's made sure she's as visible as she can be. The Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh have made sure they've stepped up to the plate and done as much as possible, but in a low-key way, but have definitely helped the King over this year. So for 2025, it will be a time of sort of regrouping and hoping that both the King and the Princess of Wales can complete their recovery and return to something like a more normal life.
Well, Rupert, it just remains for me to say a very happy Christmas to you as well. Are you doing something nice?
Well, I'm going home tonight after the horse show and probably have a big sleep tomorrow, and then I'll crank it up for Christmas, going to some friends for Christmas And then in the new year, I'm off for a holiday for 3 weeks. So you may not be speaking to me till February, but I have to say, I admire your waistcoat. You wear it with confidence, David.
Thank you so much, Rupert. Have a really good Christmas. That's Rupert Bell, their royal commentator. And that was today's Rupert's Royal Roundup.
Rupert's Royal Roundup.